Greetings, dear friends. A psychologist once said, we, each of us, unconsciously teach others how to treat us. Some teach others to respect them, some teach others to love them, and some teach others to hurt them. Regardless of who you are, your attitude in a relationship determines how the other person treats you. The more you humble yourself, the more others dare to bully you. The more you endure, the more others will take advantage of you. As you grow older, you realize that all unhealthy relationships stem from your own permission. Most of the suffering in relationships is self-inflicted. When you rely on others, you are the one who ends up disappointed. Many people enter friendships with ulterior motives, seeing friends as a lifeline to help them through tough times or career setbacks. They hope friends will be the leverage to help them succeed. But humans are inherently self-centered. If you ask for too much, people will eventually grow tired. Placing hope in others only hurts yourself. The wife of Wang Xiren, founder of Ucore, once shared a story about a classmate during her MBA studies. This classmate was obsessed with networking, spending all her time socializing while others studied. But when she needed help with her thesis, those she expected to help her all refused, leaving her to waste another year and money. Someone once lamented, "There's nothing better than not relying too much on others." Everyone has their own struggles, and relying too much on others will only lead to disappointment. When you interact with others, you may hope for their help, but they might not even care about you. If everything depends on others, even the deepest friendships will leave you hopeless. Moreover, everyone has their own life and difficulties. No one is obligated to protect you entirely. Life may exhaust us, but relying on ourselves is the most reliable path. A person's greatest asset is not their relationships but their own abilities and qualities. Only by continuously improving ourselves can we calmly face life's challenges. For example, if you fail an exam, instead of blaming others for not helping, sit down and reflect on what you could have done better. Did you not put in enough effort? Was your method wrong? Only by identifying the problem can you find a solution and improve in the next exam. Similarly, if you failed to land a job, instead of blaming fate, analyze your strengths and weaknesses. What experiences make you stand out? What skills need improvement? Only by constantly improving yourself can you shine in the fierce competition and land your dream job. Shakespeare once wrote in Hamlet, "To be or not to be, that is the question." In life, we may not control external changes, but we can master our inner world. Instead of passively waiting for others' favors, actively train yourself to be the best version of yourself. Only with real ability can you confidently live on life's stage and write your own brilliant chapter. Of course, this doesn't mean we should isolate ourselves and reject help from others. When needed, open up and seek support from friends. But before asking for help, ask yourself, have I tried my best? Am I just inconveniencing others for my own benefit? Helping others is a virtue, but excessive demands become a burden. Only when you are self-reliant do you deserve help. Only with gratitude can friendships last. As Tagore once said, a palm facing down is helping others, a palm facing up is begging for help. Helping or receiving help is nothing to be ashamed of. What's shameful is not improving yourself while relying on others' help. In short, on life's journey, learn to be strong and be your own solid foundation. Don't place hope in others but discover your inner strength. Continuously overcome and improve yourself. At the same time, be grateful for others' help and use sincerity to warm those around you. Only then can you build good relationships and walk confidently and steadily on life's path. Those wounds will eventually become your medals, the strength to keep moving forward. As long as you hold on to faith and keep looking ahead, no difficulty is insurmountable. Let's move forward together, becoming strong individuals in life and writing the most brilliant chapters of our lives on the path to pursuing our dreams. Second, trying to change others hurts you. I once read a story in a book about a character named Yang Jiang and her family. Yang Jiang loved tidiness, always folding towels neatly without a single wrinkle. But her husband, Qian Yuan, and son, Qian Zhongshu, didn't care about such things and often subtly rebelled by doing the opposite. Yang Jiang repeatedly reminded them, but they only promised and then forgot. After some time, when Yang Jiang and her husband moved to their son's dormitory, they found his room messy, with towels hanging haphazardly. Qian Zhongshu exclaimed, "Oh no, I've been exposed." But this time, Yang Jiang said nothing. She quietly tidied up and folded the towels neatly, corner to corner. She had realized that forcing others to change not only failed to achieve the desired result but also left her frustrated. She chose to accept others' differences, making the relationship more comfortable and joyful. Professor Louis, a psychologist at Yale University, discovered a rule: it takes 90 days to form a habit, 6 months to shape thinking, and 14 years to stabilize personality. If you try to change someone, you're not just altering a perspective or behavior but denying their entire worldview. This process is undoubtedly arduous. In the end, you not only fail to change others but may also fall into unnecessary inner turmoil. Psychologist Carl Jung once advised his students, never intend to change others, because not all fish live in the same ocean. Everyone has their own way of life. Forcibly persuading others will only backfire and may cause trouble for yourself. Only when we let go of the desire to shape others and allow them to live their own lives, with tolerance and seeking common ground, can we create harmonious and pleasant relationships. This reminds me of a friend's story. Her son didn't want to live conventionally and had a strong rebellious spirit. He never wore the clothes his mother picked out, preferring to style himself. He loved pop music but had no interest in the classical music his parents adored. Faced with these differences, she worried and tried to mold her son into her ideal image. But this only led to tension and conflict. The boy didn't understand his mother's good intentions, and she was heartbroken by his rebellion. The gap between them silently widened. One day, she suddenly let go of her desire to change her son. She realized he was an independent individual with the right to develop in his own way. As a mother, she needed to learn to let go and give him space to explore. After changing her approach, their relationship grew closer. In an atmosphere of respect, the boy became more open and willing to listen to his mother's advice. As Nietzsche once said, some are born to be themselves. Everyone carries unique traits and qualities. We cannot impose our standards on others, nor can we force them to change their lives. Trying to change others only leads to futile struggles. Only through understanding, tolerance, and mutual respect can life shine with its most beautiful colors. Of course, acceptance doesn't mean indifference. For others' flaws, we should still remind and guide them with goodwill. But this change should be built on a foundation of respect, allowing the other person to feel your love, not your control. As the Little Prince says, if you want to tame someone, you must risk tears. In the realm of love, change often happens quietly. When we truly feel warmth from others, we naturally want to become better to align with their expectations. In short, instead of wasting energy trying to tame others, spend time improving yourself, learning to appreciate life's diversity, and using love to nurture every relationship. This way, we can lead richer lives. As Tagore said, live like summer flowers, die like autumn leaves. Let your soul live a colorful life in its limited time, rather than being bound by external expectations. Third, pleasing others hurts you. In the book Don't Try to Please Everyone, it's written, overexerting yourself to please others will make you petty, and pursuing excellence to please others will leave you living in frustration. All unequal relationships are like this. Pleasing others without limits won't earn you smiles but will instead increase the likelihood of being looked down upon. When you lower yourself too much, placing yourself far beneath others, you'll endure more grievances. A pitiful friend of mine is a classic example of a people pleaser. Knowing her mother regretted not becoming a doctor, she forced herself to study subjects she disliked to fulfill her mother's wishes. Her father hoped she'd have many friends, so she pretended to have a vibrant social life, creating the illusion of harmony. But in reality, she was tormented daily by physics problems she wasn't good at and endured bullying and isolation from her peers. Under the pressure to please, her mother controlled all her time, allowing nothing but study. Her father constantly inquired about her friendships, using advice to bind her. But this wasn't the life she wanted. Finally, unable to bear it, she chose to end her life one dark night by jumping into a lake. A book once wrote, "Life is only a few decades long. The most important thing is to please yourself, not others." In a relationship, if you try to love someone by tiptoeing, they will surely look down on you. When you lower yourself too much, you only receive abuse and hurt from others. The people-pleasing personality often stems from a lack of security in childhood. These individuals were harshly criticized growing up and crave others' approval. As adults, they base their self-worth entirely on others' evaluations, fearing rejection and exclusion. To maintain their fragile self-esteem, they feel compelled to please others to feel valued. However, this is a game destined for failure. Overpleasing only makes others see you as weak and unworthy of real respect. The more others receive, the less they value it. Over time, the pleaser's position in the relationship diminishes, leaving only pain. The fundamental solution to this problem is rebuilding self-awareness. People pleasers need to learn to accept their true selves rather than living through others' eyes. Only by affirming your own value can you treat others equally and earn deserved respect. As Nietzsche said, those who cannot become themselves cannot become anyone. People pleasers need to learn to value their own needs and express their true thoughts. They need to understand that they don't exist solely to please others. Moderate contribution is an expression of love, but overpleasing is self-abuse. Only by loving and respecting yourself do you deserve others' love. Of course, breaking the habit of people-pleasing doesn't happen overnight. It requires constant self-awareness. Whenever you catch yourself trying to please others, stop and return to your inner self. At the same time, learn to set boundaries and say no to unreasonable demands. In the short term, this may displease others, but in the long run, it builds healthier, more balanced relationships. If you've also been hurt by this, try living a little colder from now on. Don't grovel, don't endure without resistance, don't lower yourself. In an equal relationship, you'll meet a better version of yourself. As Hemingway said, man is not made for defeat. You can destroy him, but you cannot defeat him. Life's burdens may bend our backs, but our hearts can always face the sun. Refusing to be controlled by others, refusing to live for others, we can embrace life with dignity and without shame. Fourth, enduring others hurts you. In psychology, there's a rule called the bowing effect, which states that if you're bullied but don't resist, the second or third time you're hurt, you'll likely choose to endure again. Over time, in this relationship, you'll always be the victim. Writer Ching Ji once shared a story. Once, she and her husband painstakingly planned a day trip to Hong Kong, a long-awaited plan. However, some acquaintances asked Ching Ji to buy things for them. Though reluctant, fearing to offend, she reluctantly agreed. Among them, a close female colleague asked her to buy 4 boxes of imported milk powder from a specific brand. Since it required traveling far, Ching Ji initially wanted to refuse, but seeing the other person's gentle demeanor, she agreed to try. In Hong Kong, she and her husband had to change their plans, shopping first. They ran around half of Hong Kong to buy everything, and by then, most of their time was gone. The couple, laden with bags, could no longer enjoy sightseeing. Feeling resentful, Ching Ji was deeply upset, but when she delivered the milk powder, her colleague not only didn't thank her but complained about the high price. At that moment, Ching Ji felt as if she'd swallowed her tears, suffering in silence. She no longer wanted to associate with that person, and their relationship gradually drifted apart. A psychologist once said that between individuals, there's often a relationship of mutual devouring. If your personality isn't strong enough, you're easily devoured by others. Human nature is such that we fear the strong and despise the weak. If you don't show your strong side, others will assume they can bully you without consequences. The more you endure, the less respect you receive, The lower you place yourself, the more others will hurt you without hesitation. In any relationship, the role you play is your own choice. When necessary, show your claws, and when needed, decisively turn the tables. Only then can you protect yourself. First, persistence is not always a virtue. As the saying goes, good deeds go unrewarded. Excessive persistence often only encourages others to take advantage of you, viewing your kindness as weakness and your sacrifice as weakness. Over time, your standing in the relationship will decline and you may even become an easy target for exploitation. Of course, human interaction requires patience and tolerance, but that patience must come from both sides and be built on a foundation of equality and respect. Continuous compromise only imbalances the relationship and tramples your self-respect. As the saying goes, take a step back, and the sea and sky widen. But there are principles and limits you cannot retreat from. Otherwise, it's irresponsibility to yourself. Moreover, excessive endurance not only hurts you but also negatively impacts others. People can freely hurt you simply because you've tolerated their behavior. Your concessions invisibly reinforce the bad habits of the perpetrator, making them more confident. It can be said that endurance and hurt are twin siblings. The more you endure, the more you're hurt. In a TV drama, the protagonist, having grown up in the male-dominated family, always endured. Even when her younger brother hit and scolded her, she gritted her teeth and bore it. She took the blame for her brother, enduring years in prison. After her release, her brother continuously harassed and hurt her. Finally, the poor woman could endure no more and shot her demonic brother, ending her years of nightmare. Her story shows us that a distorted relationship, if not ended in time, will only drag both parties deeper into a spiral of suffering. The victim's endurance enabled the perpetrator's cruelty, ultimately leading to an irreparable tragedy. If she had bravely said no from the start, perhaps the later tragedy wouldn't have happened. Of course, learning to refuse and resist doesn't mean using violence to retaliate. Psychologists advise that when facing bullying, we need to learn to use nonviolent communication. First, make the other person understand that their behavior makes you uncomfortable. Then, clearly express your feelings and needs. Finally, propose the changes you wish them to make. This communication method not only protects your rights but also avoids damaging the relationship. In short, endurance is always a double-edged sword. If excessive, it harms yourself. We need to find a balance between tolerance and firmness, offering others goodwill while respecting ourselves. As Nietzsche said, I love those who do not need reasons to love themselves. Only by truly loving yourself can you hold your head high in relationships, neither arrogant nor submissive. At this point, I'm reminded of a passage from Lu Xun: the terrifying thing is not daring to admit the truth, blindly agreeing, following the crowd, fearing others' ridicule, but what's even more terrifying is deceiving yourself. What is self-deception? It's when you know something is wrong but dare not speak out, when you endure hurt but let it go, ignoring it. Such endurance only makes us lose ourselves, lose our human dignity. Instead of swallowing anger, bravely stand up and resist. Instead of deceiving yourself, honestly face the truth. Only by confronting the darkness of human nature and protecting the values in your heart can you live a life without shame in complex relationships. Hold on to goodwill but also stand firm on principles. Be tolerant of others but also treat yourself well. When we can skillfully handle hatred and grievances, we won't betray our youth or ourselves. As the writer Roman Roland said, there's only one true heroism in the world, to see life as it is and still love it. The death of the veil is just the weakness of human nature. What we need most is the courage and determination to hold on to our conscience. Finding the balance between love and dignity is perhaps the first step on the path to becoming a hero. Let's walk together, using wisdom and courage to light the way forward, letting our souls bloom in the mud. Online, there's a saying, in any bad relationship, part of the blame lies with you. Though this stings, it exposes the truth about relationships in adult life. If you're always soft-hearted, You've given others a reason to take advantage of you. If you keep compromising time and again, don't blame others for being too confident in pushing you around. Human interaction should be about filtering, not changing. It's about leaving, not forcing. In relationships, we often fall into a vicious cycle. Knowing the other person's behavior upsets us, yet we endure. Knowing the relationship has long been broken, yet we can't let go. We think taking a step back will bring peace, but we end up in a dead end. Psychologists point out that the reason we keep compromising in relationships often stems from deep-seated insecurity. We crave recognition by pleasing others, fearing that if we're not good enough, we'll be abandoned. But we don't realize that true love is mutual appreciation, not endless demands. Therefore, instead of sacrificing endlessly,